Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Endzone Analytics, the show that brings you interesting insights powered by QUUANT Intelligence. Each week we'll delve deeper into the three primetime matchups with interesting data powered by our very own QUUANT.io platform. I'm Brandon Harrington and I'll be hosting weekly episodes right here on the QUUANT Intelligence YouTube channel. First off, we head off to Cincinnati later today for a mouth-watering matchup between the Bengals and the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. The season isn't going to plan so far for the Bengals, who after last year's Super Bowl appearance wanted to wrap up the AFC North and make another deep run into the playoffs. Of course, it's very early on in the season and all that is still possible, but that offensive line really needs to improve. Joe Burrow can't win you games if he's constantly being sacked and constantly being pressured, and how that O-line copes with the Miami defense will go a long way to determining the winner of this game. A win for the Bengals against the league's informed team could really kickstart their season. The Dolphins overcame the butt punt last week as they managed to beat the Bills in an AFC East matchup. We'll touch on the injury reports in a bit, but if Tua really did leave the game with a back injury, how's that going to affect him on a short week when he has 3 days less recovery than he could have had? If he was put back in the game after suffering a concussion, we obviously don't want to see that, but you'd expect him to be over the worst of that 4 days later. For this matchup, QUUANT's top value forecast is a plus 3.5 spread for the Dolphins. This has a 51% chance probability, and that would have landed you 5.75 units of profit over the last 10 matches. After their win last weekend, the Bengals enter this game with a 64% chance win probability. The Dolphins have returned a great profit in their last 10 matchups as underdogs and visitors with a 5-5 record. Therefore, with the top value forecast, there could be great profit returned by the Dolphins. At the time of filming, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is marked questionable with a back injury. Another marked questionable is wide receiver Jalen Waddle with a groin injury. If he misses tonight's matchup, then that will have a 54% impact on the Dolphins. QUUANT's injury reports are determined by the fantasy value of a player, and therefore that determines the impact that they could have on their team. As a result, the Bengals don't have any significant issues coming into tonight's game. It's Brady v Mahomes once again as the Master and the Apprentice go head to head in Tampa Bay on Sunday night. The Chiefs just had one of those games last time out. It happens. I expect Andy Reid to get them back on track as they look to put the ghosts of Super Bowl 55 behind them. Mahomes and offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy clashed on the sidelines against the Colts last time out. I expect them to be in complete agreement this week as they want to put out a big statement and a dominant display over the Buccaneers. I expect the Tampa sideline had to hide the tablets again last week after another dismal offensive performance from the Bucs. The defense is doing well and they're only giving up 9 points a game on average. It's the fact that a Tom Brady-led offense is only averaging 17 points a game that is a big surprise. Injuries haven't helped and another week of getting Cole Beasley up to speed will definitely be a positive. Having two luxury quarterbacks on the field doesn't guarantee points. See Brady and Rodgers last week as evidence. But we know that means to look at the under-over selections as they can offer great value. That seems to be the case for the QUUANT top value forecast, which is under 44.5 match points with a 53% chance of happening and a 4-star value. With two strong defenses, both teams were involved in games last week that didn't exceed 37 points. Despite being the visiting team, the Chiefs are the favourites for this one with a 55% probability of taking home the win. The Bucs have returned a profit going into their last 10 games as underdogs with a 5-5 record. Interestingly, the Chiefs have not returned a profit going into their last 10 games as favourites despite having a 6-4 record. For the Chiefs, Harrison Butker, the kicker, is still a question for this game, and if he were to miss out, it would have a 38% impact. For the Bucs, they still have their offensive line injuries and injuries to their wide receiver core. We have to see how Julio Jones and Chris Godwin will do, but Mike Evans will be back after suspension last week. The third and final primetime matchup from week 4 is Monday Night Football as the Rams visit the 49ers. A repeat of last year's NFC Championship game, both teams come into this game with underwhelming seasons so far. The divisional game always carries extra weight, and with all 4 NFC West teams off to a mixed start so far, and both the Rams and 49ers having a divisional win already this season, this game offers a great opportunity to put yourself down as the number 1 team in the West. Garoppolo's had another week of getting to know the offense as the shift continues from the brief Trey Lance era. No training camp reps means that work is going on now to form those QB receiver relationships. Will that work pay off this week? San Francisco will be desperate to get the win as they don't want to fall to 1-3 to start the season. The Rams come into this one at 2-1, but their record doesn't tell the whole story. They got blown out week 1 against the Bills, they nearly blew it week 2 against the Falcons, and they let the Cardinals hang around last week. The Rams gave out a lot of big contracts in the off-season, and it's time for those big money players to start making big plays. The 49ers are favourite for this one. Despite a slow start, they are 1-0 at home turf. It's a forecasted 57% win probability for the 49ers, but if you wanted to get some more value, with added risk, a minus 2.5 spread is 50% probability. If you're looking to back the Rams, only do so with a minimum of odds at plus 125 to get maximum value for them as underdogs. Van Jefferson is still the most significant absentee for the Rams. He's still on IR. This will have a 53% impact on the Rams, as Stafford is without one of his key targets. For the 49ers, Trey Lance's season-ending injury will have even more impact, 77% impact in this game, and it's got to hurt even more after the dismal performance last week against Denver. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Endzone Analytics. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment about the game you're most looking forward to this week. To access all the data-driven insights that you've seen in this video and more, head over to QUUANT.io for a 3-day trial that will cost 99 cents. Link will be in the description. I've been your host, Brandon Harrington, and I'll see you all next week.